My name is Evelyn. I never imagined that one day I would be sitting alone in a dim room, writing the story of how I lost myself and how I found myself again. But here I am, and I will tell you everything. Not because I want sympathy, but because I want someone, somewhere, to open their eyes before it's too late. I was 19 when I met him. His name was Aiden. He was charming, confident, and had that effortless kind of smile that made you feel like the only person in the world. I was just a regular college girl in California, living with 2 roommates, working part-time at a bookstore, and trying to make sense of life. I was raised by a single mother, and though we were never rich, we had enough. She taught me to be kind and strong, but life doesn't always prepare you for wolves in human skin. Aiden came into my life like a warm breeze. We met at a party, a typical Friday night at someone's apartment. Loud music, people dancing, red plastic cups. I wasn't really into that scene, but my roommates had begged me to go. I remember standing near the balcony when he approached me. He said something funny about the playlist, and I laughed. That's how it began. Over the next few weeks, he texted me every morning and every night. He called me beautiful like it was my first name. He took me out to dinners, showed up with flowers, remembered the small things I said. I felt seen. For the first time, I thought maybe someone truly liked me for who I was. We started spending more and more time together. He made me feel special, like I was different from all the other girls. He said I was real and not like the fake ones he'd known before. I believed him. I believed everything. Because when you want love, you ignore the signs. You rewrite red flags as pink. He never asked much about my dreams, though. I wanted to be a teacher. I had this little vision of opening a small learning center for underprivileged kids one day. But whenever I talked about it, he would just nod or change the subject. Instead, he always complimented my looks, my body, my smile, my hair. At first, it felt nice. Then, slowly, it started to feel different. He was always touchy, always hungry for closeness. He would get upset when I refused to stay over at his place. He said things like, "What's the big deal? We're adults, or don't you trust me?" I thought I was being too sensitive. So I stayed quiet. One night, after 3 months of dating, he told me he loved me. I smiled and said it back. My heart was beating fast, but something inside me felt uncertain. I had never said those words to anyone outside my family before. But I wanted to believe in us. I wanted him to mean it. After that night, things changed. He stopped texting me as much. He started taking longer to reply. He became less interested in spending time with me unless it was late at night or when he wanted to be alone with me. He stopped asking how my day was, stopped asking about my classes. I told myself he was just busy. I made excuses. But deep down, I knew something was wrong. One day, I caught him texting another girl. It was a message that said, "Can't wait to see you again." I asked him about it, and he laughed it off. Said she was just a friend. I didn't believe him, but I was too scared to confront him. I didn't want to lose him. I had already given him too much, my time, my trust, my heart. One weekend, he invited me to go away with him. Just the 2 of us. To a cabin in the woods his friend owned. I hesitated. My gut told me not to go. But he said it would be romantic. He said we needed time alone. My roommates were excited for me. They said I was lucky. So I packed my bag. The cabin was beautiful. Silent. Cold. Isolated. There was no Wi-Fi, no signal. Just trees, snow, and silence. The first night was peaceful. We cooked dinner together, played some music from his downloaded playlist, and talked near the fireplace. I thought maybe I was overthinking everything. But the second night, things turned. He started pressuring me, again, for things I wasn't comfortable with. He got angry when I said no. His face changed. The charm disappeared. He called me dramatic, childish, said I was leading him on. I felt trapped. The cabin was far from any town. No phone signal. No neighbors. Just me and him. I didn't sleep that night. I kept my jacket on, curled up on the couch, eyes open, heart racing. He went to bed, slamming the door behind him. The next morning, I told him I wanted to leave. He acted like nothing had happened. Said I was overreacting. But I insisted. We packed our things, drove back, and the silence in the car was louder than any argument. When we returned, I stopped replying to his texts. He sent a few messages, but they were cold, blaming me, saying I owed him more after everything he did for me. He said I had led him on and wasted his time. And that's when it hit me. He never wanted me, not really. He wanted control. He wanted my body, my loyalty, my silence, my fear. He didn't love me. He loved the idea of owning me. I was just a trophy, a temporary escape, a body with a heartbeat. The pain didn't hit all at once. It came in pieces, during showers, when I looked in the mirror, when I passed the bookstore where we first met. But I held on. I had to. I started going to therapy. I talked to my mom. I stopped blaming myself. Because none of it was my fault. I was not asking for it. I was not overreacting. I was not too emotional. I was just a girl who trusted too easily, a heart that believed in kindness, a mind that hadn't yet learned how cruel some people can be. But I would learn. And I would rise. After Aiden, I deleted all the pictures. But I couldn't delete the memories. They stayed. They haunted me in silence, when I walked to class, when I brushed my hair, even when I smiled. I kept asking myself, why did I let it happen? But I slowly understood that question was the wrong one. The right question was, why did he think he could treat someone like that? It took me a long time to see myself again, not as a body, not as a girl who made a mistake, but as a human being. A soul. A heart. A voice. At first, healing felt impossible. I had no energy. I wanted to stay in bed forever. I skipped classes. I ate junk food. I didn't shower some days. I cried without warning. But every time I reached the bottom, something inside whispered, "Stand up." So, I did. I started journaling. Not to write beautiful things, but to empty the ugly. The pain, the shame, the confusion, all of it went into pages that no one would read but me. Each word felt like a step toward myself. My roommate, Hannah, noticed the change. One evening, she said, you're smiling again." That small comment stayed with me, because I hadn't noticed. I cut off all contact with Aiden. No texts. No social media. I blocked him everywhere. Not to hurt him, but to protect myself. Because some people don't deserve a second chance to ruin your peace. Then I started going back to campus activities. I joined a club that worked with high school girls, mentoring them, listening to their stories, helping them apply for scholarships. One day, during a group session, a 17-year-old girl asked, "How do you know if someone really loves you?" The room went quiet. I took a deep breath. And I said something I never planned to say. I told her that love isn't how loud someone compliments your body. It's how quietly they hold space for your dreams. It's not about who touches your skin. It's about who touches your mind, your faith, your future. She smiled. And I realized something else. The moment I spoke my pain out loud, it lost its power over me. Months passed. I grew stronger. Not overnight. Not perfectly. But slowly. I started focusing on my dream again, becoming a teacher. I enrolled in child psychology courses, did part-time work at a youth center, and started saving money for my teaching certification. Every time I saw a girl being used, being tricked, being broken, I saw my past self in her eyes. But I no longer saw weakness there. I saw potential. I saw fire. Because surviving isn't the end. Becoming better is. There was a day, months later, when I ran into Aiden on campus. He looked surprised to see me. He tried to say something, but I just smiled and walked away. Not because I hated him, but because he no longer mattered. The version of me that cried for his attention, that begged for his love, that blamed herself, she was gone. A new version had taken her place. Wiser. Stronger. Unbreakable. I no longer dress to impress someone. I no longer shrink myself for approval. I no longer allow anyone to define my worth based on my body. Because I am not a body to be desired. I am a heart to be respected. A mind to be heard. A soul to be valued. To every girl listening, if someone only wants your body, then they don't deserve your presence. Walk away. Even if your legs shake. Say no. Even if your voice trembles. You're not hard to love. You're just hard to fool. And if you've already been hurt, you are not ruined. You are not dirty. You are not broken. You are becoming. And becoming takes pain. So don't hide your story. Use it. Grow from it. Rise through it. Because sometimes the deepest scars create the strongest souls. I am Evelyn. And I was once almost destroyed by someone who only wanted my body. But now, I am building a life that no one can touch.